Oh no, not at all. I think honestly, it's just the way things played out, the cards that were at hand.
I really believe they just wanted to shut me up. You know, I'm saying there's a lot of hate in boxing. You know.
Shakur now lands a couple more. And 1 round to go.
Teofimo Lopez Jr. wasted no time firing back after emerging from the hospital, launching a heated attack on the judges, the referee, and Shakur Stevenson himself. From his hospital bed to the press microphones, Lopez painted a picture of injustice. He insisted the fight was far closer than the scorecard suggested, claiming his body shots were effective and that key moments were deliberately ignored. According to Lopez, the officials failed to recognize the damage he believes he inflicted, robbing him of what he sees as a rightful victory.
I was catching him a lot with the body shots a lot, so I think that was one of my effective arsenals that was getting him every time. But I think just more combinations, especially finish with left hooks and stuff.
His emotional response ignited social media instantly. Fans debated his claims, some sympathizing with the frustration of a beaten fighter, others accusing him of rewriting history. But as the noise grew louder, the substance of his allegations faced increasing scrutiny. Teofimo Lopez Sr. escalated the situation even further. He went straight for the jugular, accusing the referee of outright bias and claiming that there is deep-rooted hate.
2 referees were looking at, you know what I'm saying? But you got to beat the champ to be the champ, you know? And my son heard that bull.
Hatred in boxing toward his son. He argued that officials deliberately ignored the punishment Teofimo Jr. was landing and insisted his son hurt Shakur Stevenson repeatedly. For supporters, it was a raw, emotional father defending his fighter at all costs. For critics, it was an unfiltered meltdown that only added fuel to an already burning controversy. Promoter Eddie Hearn quickly stepped in to call out what he described as a complete circus surrounding the Lopez.
Oh, to be honest with you, I don't like that stuff if I'm honest, but Teofimo's Teofimo. You could never control him, you can never predict what he's going to do or say.
Camp. Hearn pointed out that nothing in the actual fight footage supports the claims being made. While Lopez Sr. fired off accusations toward judges and Shakur, Hearn's reaction exposed how detached those statements were from reality. Instead of highlighting injustice, the outbursts only amplified the defeat and shifted attention away from the ring toward excuses and embarrassment. Former world champion Duke McKenzie was even harsher. He completely dismantled the post-fight narrative.
He knows he's not a real boxer. There's levels to this game, and he was way out of his level, way out of his depth.
Labeling the complaints pathetic. McKenzie reminded fans that Teofimo Lopez Jr. is not operating at the elite level required to compete with someone like Shakur Stevenson. The accusations of cheating and bias, he said, collapsed the moment you watch the fight objectively. This was not a robbery. It was a technical masterclass. The excuses, in McKenzie's view, only emphasized how badly Lopez was outmatched. Chael Sonnen offered a cold, analytical breakdown that
he was running away. He was trying to get distance. Then he was trying to step in to win this athletic competition, and then he's trying to get out of the way so that he doesn't get hurt again. He was fighting. Then it turns to where he can't stay away anymore, so now he's got to go.
Stripped emotion from the conversation entirely. He described how Lopez spent much of the fight circling away, trying to create distance while hesitating to fully engage. The hesitation was telling. Lopez was clearly wary of Shakur's counters. Once avoidance stopped being an option, Lopez was forced into a reactive role, fighting on Shakur's terms. Sonnen made it clear. This wasn't about judges or referees. It was about one fighter being sharper, smarter, and far more complete.
And Shakur just bullied him, outboxed him on the back foot, outboxed him on the front foot. Every time Teo came in and kind of tripped himself, going over his front foot, the punches and bunches and just the single shots were just beautiful from Shakur.
Analysts across the boxing world echoed the same conclusion. The reality, as many pointed out, was brutal for Lopez. Shakur Stevenson didn't just win, he dominated. Lopez's physical strength meant little as Stevenson controlled him on both the front and back foot. Every misstep, every overcommitment, and even moments where Lopez tripped over his own positioning were punished with precision. Shakur's timing and ring's EQ rendered
to Shakur Stevenson. He could not get past the lead hand. The jab was stifling him. He was having trouble cutting the ring. He was having trouble getting to the outside foot. This was an orthodox southpaw matchup where Teofimo needed to step to his left to try to push the lead hand away or at least get head off center line if he wanted to throw his right hand. Instead, he was doing the opposite, and Shakur was taking the outside track. Teo was stepping on the inside lane and then fading to his right side, right into the left hand of Shakur Stevenson, which, by the way, In the first round, Shakur didn't really even throw a backhand. It was just
any talk of officiating irrelevant. Technical analysts broke down how Lopez struggled just to get into position. Shakur's jab completely stifled him. Lopez couldn't cut the ring, couldn't establish rhythm, and repeatedly stepped into danger. Instead of making adjustments, he fell into predictable patterns that played directly into Stevenson's hands. What Lopez framed as missed moments were, in reality, moments where he was neutralized.
Just got a great boxing mind. You know, that's just it. He's got a great boxing mind, and you know, once he put his mind to it, he's gonna get the job done.
What is it gonna take to beat someone like him?
I don't know, Brian. Probably won't stay away
before he could even begin to work. Eddie Hearn later summarized the performance succinctly. Shakur Stevenson looked powerful, precise, and in total control. His jab dictated distance, his footwork erased threats, and his timing shut down offense before it could develop. This wasn't just a win, it was a demonstration of elite boxing. Against that level of execution, all post-fight complaints crumble. Skill, intelligence, conditioning, and composure made the difference. Daniel Jacobs delivered a blunt reality check for Lopez. Heart alone is not enough at the highest level. Against a fighter like Shakur Stevenson, talent...
Strong, you know, Shakur looked like he was punching very hard. His jab was on point, his footwork was incredible. It's his timing, it's his fitness. He
must be paired with precision, adaptability, and timing. Jacobs pointed out that no referee, judge, or conspiracy can close the gap between fighters when one operates on a significantly higher technical level. The fight exposed the difference between perception and reality. Claressa Shields praised Shakur Stevenson's tactical brilliance, highlighting how he mixed athleticism with strategy seamlessly. His jab to the body, clean single shots, and clinical efficiency controlled the fight and even drew blood. Shields emphasized that this was a textbook performance, no wasted movement, no unnecessary risks, and no openings left behind.
I feel like he's a fighter, so he try to fight back. But yeah, I picked him apart. In the second round, I want to say that I told my corner, I said, I'm stronger than he is.
Did you feel like you hurt him at any point in the fight?
Yeah, for sure. I hurt him a couple times. My jab, my left hand to the body, my left hand up top.
Stevenson didn't just outbox Lopez. He dismantled him systematically. As more voices weighed in, the narrative became impossible to ignore. The louder the Lopez camp complained, the clearer the truth became. This fight was not stolen. It was decided by superior skill, preparation, and execution. Coach Wallace summed it up best. Shakur Stevenson isn't just winning fights. He's cementing his place among the most intelligent and complete fighters in the sport. While Teofimo Lopez Jr. searches for explanations outside the ring, Stevenson continues to let his work speak for him.
Yeah, I know boxing. and like I told y'all, we was going to see a little bit of athleticism, but we was going to see Shakur be using his jab, going to the body. And we saw blood today. Shakur did great today. Only thing I can ask for is a stoppage. I can't ask for nothing else.
For itself. And in boxing, that difference matters more than any post-fight excuse ever could. Shakur Stevenson is cementing a legacy at 140 pounds that right now looks untouchable. Every round showcased his intelligence, timing, and ruthless efficiency. This performance made one thing crystal clear. Teofimo Lopez's post-hospital comeback statements and accusations don't matter in the slightest. While Lopez continues firing off complaints about judges, referees, and being robbed, Stevenson's clean, dominant work speaks far louder than any post-fight tantrum. Legacy isn't given.
But Teofimo, hey yo, sometimes you just gotta grab your nuts and you just gotta put balls to the wall, unfortunately. But that's just what it is. And sometimes when you think you can keep up with a boxer that's superior,
it's earned. And on this night, Shakur Stevenson proved exactly why he belongs at the top of the division. This was more than a victory. It was a dismantling of hype, ego, and excuses. If Lopez believed his hospital bed comeback narrative would restore relevance or sympathy, Stevenson reminded everyone who truly controls the ring. The difference between them wasn't controversy or opinion. It was mastery. Bruce Carrington's technical breakdown exposed the fight for what it really was, a glaring mismatch in skill and discipline from the opening round. Lopez's positioning errors immediately put him at risk. His foot placement, balance, and predictable movement patterns made him an easy target for Stevenson's counters. Whether Lopez tried doubling up the right hand, turning square in exchanges, or even switching southpaw, none of it worked. against a fighter as sharp as Shakur.
Excited, you know, I said this was another legacy fight for him, and
Absolutely.
he got a chance to, you know, establish his legacy once again, winning another title at 140 pounds. So I'm very enthusiastic about his future and very proud of his performance.
Shakur. These adjustments weren't clever. They were desperate. Stevenson's reflexes, ring IQ, and timing allowed him to dominate effortlessly. He saw everything coming. Each time Lopez attempted to close the distance, he was met with precise counters and perfectly timed defensive pivots. Shakur didn't need to overextend or chase a finish. He controlled space, tempo, and positioning, turning Lopez's aggression into opportunities to punish mistakes. Despite this, Lopez continues to cry foul. He blames referees, judges, and supposed bias for what was plainly a skill mismatch. But no amount of post-fight outrage can change what unfolded in the ring. This wasn't a robbery, it was a clinic. The scorecards simply reflected the reality that one fighter was operating on a completely different level. Carrington emphasized how Stevenson dismantled Lopez's
It's easy, you know, I was saying, like, if Teo was to fight more on a back foot and throw punches when Shakur throws, that's the only time you're going to get Shakur. But Teo, he has a habit of getting out of position all the time. He'll double up his right hand, turn square, or turn southpaw. Like, that's not gonna work, bro. You're not gonna take up enough space to touch Shakur. And Shakur's reflexes and his countering was just keeping Teo at bay. It was an easy night from round one for him. Shakur got the
game before it could even develop. The jab was the key. It disrupted Lopez's rhythm, froze his entries, and forced him into predictable patterns. Each time Lopez squared up or lunged forward, Stevenson was already a step ahead, countering with surgical accuracy. These weren't lucky shots or officiating favors. They were the result of preparation, intelligence, and elite execution. What made Stevenson's performance especially damaging to Lopez's narrative was how calm and composed it was. There was no chaos, no wild exchanges, and no moments of panic. Shakur dictated every phase of the fight. When Lopez tried to press, he was redirected. When he hesitated, he was punished. When he rushed, he was countered. The fight unfolded exactly how Stevenson wanted it to. The contrast between the two fighters couldn't be more stark. Stevenson let his work do the talking. Lopez relied on post-fight outrage to...
But I've always been a fan of Shakur, and I think that Shakur put on a clinic tonight. Least amount of risk. Been able to put his skill set into fruition all night. The jab was leading. You can tell the difference in skill set, and that was the difference to me that made the fight. It wasn't about grit, it wasn't about heart, it was about sheer talent. And
stay relevant. While one man quietly builds a legacy, the other clings to excuses. At this level of boxing, talent decides outcomes. Not emotion, not accusations, and certainly not complaining after the fact. Every attempt Lopez made to land meaningful offense was neutralized. His inability to adjust mid-fight revealed the gap between ambition and execution. Switching stances, loading up on single shots, or forcing exchanges didn't confuse Stevenson. They exposed Lopez's limitations. Shakur read him like a book, shutting down every option before it could become dangerous. This is the harsh truth of elite boxing. When skill, timing, and intelligence meet hype and frustration, the result is domination. Stevenson didn't just win rounds, he removed doubt. He showed that excuses have no power against precision. As Bruce Carrington made clear, this fight...
At the end of the day, if you look at interviews before the fight, I was saying that, you know, something looked off about him. He looked like he just wasn't really focused on the fight. He said my name before the fight more than he even...
It wasn't close, controversial, or unfair. It was decisive. The outcome had nothing to do with judges or referees and everything to do with ability. Shakur Stevenson was faster, smarter, sharper, and more composed in every exchange. In the end, Lopez's post-hospital complaints only reinforced the reality he's trying to